In this video, I want to show those that are using Hotmail and Outlook how to secure their account if it has been compromised. And I can show you how you can check to see if your system was compromised. And I'm not going to read this whole paragraph, but back in April, 3.2 billion Gmail, Hotmail, Netflix, LinkedIn, and other accounts were leaked online. And this is the name of that leak. And it's really called the mother of all leaks. And I do have 4 links that you can click here. That these are the 4 links. It says cyber pandemic is here, the largest data leak ever. Change your passwords now. I agree with that. You need to change it, but there's one thing that you need to do, and that's what I want to show you in this video. As you can see here, it talks more about how many passwords over the past 2 months and usernames were leaked online, and I've actually seen some of the leaked files, and I sent them to politicians, news media with no response. But here most websites are advising you to change your passwords immediately, and you need to do a little bit more than that, and I'll show you in just a moment. But here it says your email and passwords were probably posted on the mother of all data leaks, and if you go on to read this, it'll tell you to change your password. Here it says the largest collections of password ever have been leaked online, and if again, when you keep reading, it will tell you to change your password. Here it talks about a flaw in Microsoft that leaked Outlook users, but they said they've patched it, but you still need to change your password and to do one more thing. And I put this tip at the top is to look in your email filters. If your email was exposed, your username and password, if it was exposed online and someone got into your account, they can place a filter that will block out links from like Amazon, your online banking, your doctor. They can also put their email in your filters to where anytime you get an email or send an email, it will forward it to another address that you don't even know is occurring. So you need to check your filters and delete things out of your filter if your email was compromised. Because if you're changing your password and your email was compromised, it's still compromised. It doesn't matter how many times you change your password, and even if you're using a password manager, it secures your password where they can't get back in your email, but they could place things in your email to where they still have control over what's happening in your email. So let me show you how you can check whether your Hotmail and Outlook was compromised. Now this is not about Gmail. I've already did a video about Gmail, and I have a link within the reading here that you can click on and show you how you can check your Gmail to remove the filters in that. But how to check your Hotmail and Outlook was compromised, you can click this link here. Now I am using the Microsoft Edge browser, but I'm on a Linux system, so I'm not going to go through and click all these links and reveal my IP addresses and show my usernames and stuff. So I do have screenshots and some of the things that will be blurred out that I don't want exposed on the internet. But if you click here, it will prompt you to sign in with your account email. Then you hit next and put in your password. When you get signed in, it will take you to your account, Microsoft.com, or you can go to your history, and it will look something like this, except you'll see your username at the top. When you scroll down, you'll see these 8 blocks here that has subscriptions, your family, your devices, discover, security, privacy, rewards, payment, and billing. So if you have a credit card or debit card stored on your machine and your email was compromised or your username and password was compromised, someone then has access to getting that card information. And they can also add other devices to your account, so that way that not only are you seeing what you're doing on your computer, someone else can do it as well. Now when you first log on, if you're on a different system, it will say that you need to verify that you are who you say you are, and it will send it to a particular email address depending upon how you have your security settings set up. Then you check the other mail, get your code. Say I have the code right here, click that link, put the code in, and it will open you up to your privacy dashboard. Here within the privacy dashboard, you can click a lot of different drop down areas to check what's happened in the location activity. It shows you about the different activities, but what you need to do is at the top, that I didn't get part of the screenshot, is to go back at the top and click the Microsoft account, so you see all these tabs here. Now click on the security tab. When you click on the security tab, you want to view the activity for your particular username and account information. This activity will show all the locations that you've logged in. So when you click view my activity, it will show up all the activity that happened on your account within the last 30 days. And you can keep saying view more activity up to 30 days long. So as you can see here, I did this web page yesterday, or I started collecting it the day before yesterday. But as you can see, at the time that I took the screenshot, it was 9 minutes ago that it was a successful sign-in, and that was actually me. At that point in time, 9 hours ago, someone tried to sync my account, and it was from Peru. And that was one of the last locations. Actually, when you click this drop down, and I'll show you in a moment, there was more locations from Peru. This was a successful login, and this was me. This was an unsuccessful login from the United States, and it wasn't me. This was successful, which was me, and you can click these in a moment, and here were two more. So you can see here that these unsuccessful ones, and where someone tried to sync my account, someone had got my information off of this data leak. So my Hotmail was part of the data leak. Now, fortunate for me is I knew about the data leak from my Gmail being exposed and someone hacking into my Amazon account by it being leaked. So I knew to come in here and fix this. And so when all these people tried to use my leaked username and passwords, they're not successful. And I'm trying to warn others so they can do the same thing. So when you come up here and click to where it says automatic sync, click that error, it will drop down and it will reveal the Hotmail username, and you can see it's the Hotmail username, and I blurred it because that's not an email I check often. It's an old email account that I have, and I do have one Windows system that I use as my Plex media server, and then the other night it just locked up. And at the time it locked up was when someone was trying to hack into my account. Since my Windows 10 system was linked with that Hotmail address, as someone was trying to hack into it, it just froze my computer. So when I pressed the power button and booted it back up, I had to confirm that I was actually me using the computer, and I thought that was weird. And when I went into these settings here, I realized that someone was trying to get in. Now, these IP addresses are showing from the people that's trying to get in, and these are the locations. Now, I imagine these are probably the same individuals. It may not be. They're probably using a VPN to show that they're trying to come from Peru and the IP address of where they're trying to get into. As you can see, it's an unsuccessful sync. Here's an IP address from India, unsuccessful sync. From Russia, the IP address. Thailand, the IP address. Bosnia, and that location, and their IP address that has the same IP address. Now, if it looks unfamiliar, click secure your account. That way it will prompt you things to do to make sure that you're safe. So you can click this right here and it will secure your account. Now when I clicked that, I was already secure because I was the one that had to put in that I was the actual owner of the account when my system froze up. So if you're using a Windows 10 system and your system appears to freeze up, or you have a cursor, mouse pointer that the little circle just will not stop turning, more than likely someone has your username and trying to get into your account. Now if you come down here, you remember I had some additional unsuccessful sign-ins. Here was one that was from the United States. It said someone was using a Windows platform on a Chrome browser. There's their IP address, trying to get into my Hotmail, and it was with the incorrect password because that was the password that was posted on the dark web. Here you can see that from another Windows platform, and here's the date and time that they tried to get into it from a Windows platform using the Chrome browser at this IP address, the incorrect password. And this was from Pakistan, whereas this was someone from up in New York that tried to get into my system. And when I clicked to view my activity, it was just a lot of activity since I have changed my password. Now, I can show you in just a few moments that someone did get into my account, but I don't buy anything using this account. It was just an old Gmail account that I created back basically when Hotmail first came out, and when I had a Windows 7 I would mainly use it on my old Windows 98, 95 and old systems. And then when I finally upgraded one of my systems to Windows 10, realized that I really didn't like Windows 10. That is the address that I associated with my Windows 10 system. So if you have a compromised Gmail or Amazon account, click here and that will show you how you can check the filters in those. But now once you go into your security, you can change your password. You can come up here to change your password, and it shows the date that I had changed my password on. Or you can go to password security. By going into your password security, it will show you that the time that you changed your password, or you can actually hit change password from here. So if you go to change for password security, it will let you change your password here. There's multiple ways that you can change your password. You can even say to account verification. This is where you can add another email address to verify, to send a code to verify that it's you. Make sure that your receive alerts is turned on so that when someone's trying to hack into your account, that it will send an email to this address here showing you that someone's attempting to get into your email address. A lot of times if your email has been compromised, someone might remove your actual email to where your verification email, and they may leave it on there and turn this receive alerts off, so that way that you know that no one's trying to get into your account, that you don't know it. So you can view the activity, and sometimes someone might even add additional email addresses, so that if you do notice an email address that you didn't add, remove it from your system, so that way that someone's trying to monitor things that you're doing with your account. Now when you click the Microsoft account up here, now this is not a real image of me. This is a picture I chose a long time ago, and I don't know if it was copyrighted, so I blurred it. I did blur my email addresses, but when you choose the My Account, you got your 8 different speed dials or blocks that you have here. I recommend going through each of these, especially your payments and billing. If you're using a credit card or debit card, if someone does get into your account, they can copy that down and they can put your credit card or debit card on the dark web, and they can sell it to others so that you'll be billed for something that someone else is purchasing using your information. Now, go through here and change anything that or look through there, like devices. Make sure someone else is not tagging on a device using your account. Make sure that your device is the one that's shown here and that's shown in the devices. So go through each of those and make the settings accordingly. Now, since you've made the adjustments to your account, you're at this link here, for your Microsoft account. Now's the actual time to go into your Hotmail or Outlook account so that you can check your filters. And this is what I was saying at the beginning. If you have filters placed on your account, it doesn't matter how many times that you change your password, those filters are still going to be on your account. And most websites that are trying to warn people says change your password immediately, and some says change your password and use a password manager. That's great advice, but the first thing to do is to check your account to see that anyone has placed any filters that will compromise your account. So once you log into Hotmail, and you may have a different theme than me, click the gear in the upper right hand corner and then scroll all the way down and click on View Your Outlook Settings. When you click this, a settings dialog box will appear on your screen. I want you to click on the left hand side, click General. Once you click General, then click on Mobile Devices. A lot of times when someone's trying to get into your account, they're going to attach another device here. This is where they're going to try to link a device to your account. So I had 3. The chat service, which I have used before, so that was mine, but I don't really use it anymore, so I eventually removed that. I do have an Outlook set up to where I can check my email on that Outlook, so that is actually mine. Here is an Outlook that's not mine. So before I actually changed my password, someone did link an Outlook, or at least that's what they're calling it here, account to my email address. So what you can do is you can move over in this area. When you hover over in that area, you'll see 4 little icons appear. It'll be a pencil, a trash can, and then like a refresh or to kind of refresh, and then another icon. You want to hover over the pencil and click on it. This allows you to edit or at least look at the contents of a device that you don't recognize. Here, as you can see, that it looks like a desktop system, or at least that was the name that was labeled. It was someone with a Windows operating system, and it shows that it was someone here in the United States. They could be using a VPN. The access was denied. So apparently that was after the last time they tried to use it. I had changed my password, so when they tried to get in using that device, so that was probably up here when it said someone tried to sync their device and it was unsuccessful. At the top up here where it says syncing device here, automatic sync, and then when you click onto it, it was a failure. It was probably this device that they were trying to sync, that one, because that one is not something I did. So when you click OK, I recommend you to remove anything that you didn't add yourself. And if you're not sure if you added it, I would recommend deleting all of them and then hitting the OK button. That way, if you actually have an Outlook and you click onto it and it's not loading, you can put in your new settings, so that way you make sure you're deleting anything that is using your account, that you're not it. So what you do is you click the delete, and I actually hovered over and deleted the chat service, and I left this one here. Actually, I went back and deleted it and went back into my Outlook, and it still worked. So I ended up deleting everything in that list. Now, after you go to and choose your mobile devices, the next thing you want to do on the left hand side is to click onto the mail account. Then you want to go to your junk mail filters. Now this is important, and let me explain why. If you use your Hotmail or Outlook to purchase things online, such as Amazon, Walmart, Target, or any other online store, someone can put the filter like Amazon, or even your bank, like if you use Chase Banking or any other online banking, they can add a filter so that it blocks information. So if someone purchases something from Amazon using your actual Amazon account, and you start to get a notification like you've purchased, thank you for purchasing it, they can place a filter, an Amazon filter, where it goes into your junk mail so that it doesn't go to your inbox. So look at your junk filters to make sure that you didn't add that filter. And if there's a filter there that you didn't add, more than likely your Hotmail or Outlook was compromised. Remove it. Remove any filters that you don't recognize in your junk mail. That's usually the first thing they go for. They'll attach a device, then they'll get into your mail and add filters so that as things happen on your account, you won't recognize it. And if they look through your mail and see that you do online banking, like if they Chase Banking, they may add a filter for Chase Banking so that if you get a notification from the bank that this is your account update showing money was taken out of your account, it will go to your junk mail and you won't see it in your inbox. And a lot of times we don't check our junk mail. We just leave it there for Hotmail or Microsoft to remove it from after so many days. Also look for the safe senders. You don't want to, have someone to add their name there. You can scroll down and look at these filters as well. But the most important one is your junk filter. The next thing you want to do while you're still in the mail category, we're looking at these categories here, is to go to your rules. Someone set up rules in these filters so if a certain demand, like certain things are met, it does a certain thing. This is where you can change the behavior of how your email works. So look at the set of rules, and if there's rules here and you didn't add the rules, delete them. And that's a surefire way of knowing that your Hotmail or Outlook account was compromised. Next thing you want to do is to scroll down and click onto the message handling. Now here's another thing that most people, when their email is compromised, someone that compromises your emails will usually come into the marked as read section over here under message handling. They will usually check this box here. Always keep items unread unless I specifically mark them as read, so that way they can go through and read your emails and it won't mark them as already being read, so that way they won't have to go back and right click and say mark as unread. That way they can read them and they won't be read. So if you've ever noticed that you go in your Outlook or your Hotmail and you click on it and it stays showing that it's not been read, more than likely someone has changed your filter under the message handling to mark it so that it stays read unless you change it. So look at that. That's a normal key way of knowing that your email was compromised. And then here's another key thing. Click on forwarding. Sometimes they'll click on enabling forwarding and they'll create a junk mail to where that they use it only for hacking purposes. A lot of times you'll see hackers use Proton Mail, and they'll enter an email here and enable forwarding, so that way as you get emails from say Amazon, your bank, and you reply or something to people, you're sending those messages to their account. So come in here and check to make sure there's no email addresses under the email forwarding. Next thing you want to go do is to look in your archive folders. Sometimes they set up rules. Remember when I showed you rules to archive certain emails? So that way that, and my brother, he had an account on his phone to where someone changed every email he got, went to his archives, and so we changed his password on his email, and now we've removed all the archived emails, and his emails now go back to the inbox. That's a quick way. So if they're getting in quickly, they can say to change the emails from inbox to archives, and most people don't check their archives. So look in your archives and see if something was archived that you didn't do, and that's another key sign that your email was compromised. Now once that you've done that, then your email should be ready. If you changed your passwords, remove the filters that I show you here on the website. That's a good way to make sure that your Hotmail or Outlook is safe to use. And I recommend you to use a password manager. This is a browser here. This is the Edge browser. Do not let it save your password within the browser, because if someone can get into your account and they sync your passwords, even though if you changed your password and someone has synced it, they can resync your new passwords. So make sure that you're using a password manager. I recommend Bitwarden because that's what I use. There's a lot of other free and even password managers that are low cost. So I'm not pushing for, if you're looking at this, I'm not getting paid from any of these. These are just safe extensions to put within your browser. And this is the Edge browser with the uBlock, pop-up blocker, privacy badger, and this is my Bitwarden. So that way, and then I do have the HTTPS to make sure that your browser is as most secure as you can. Now I know a lot of Linux users are looking and they probably say, I don't like the Edge browser. Why do you have it? Well, I'm putting the Edge browser for those that are Microsoft users to show that it's very similar to your Gmail, the way that I went to the Gmail and changed the settings. So there's ways to improve your security. I'm glad that when I was compromised my Gmail, I went through and changed my passwords for everything, because if I hadn't changed my password, all of these different times that you see here where it says unsuccessful, someone would have been successful to get into my account. So if you're a Windows 10 user and you notice that your system has been misbehaving, more than likely you've got activity going on in the background that you didn't know about. So you need to log into your account and check to make sure that on your activity that you are the only person logging into your account and no online hacker. Now, I'm not trying to make my channel popular. I'm just trying to warn anyone to make sure that this pandemic of cybersecurity leak is not occurring to them, because I would hate for someone to wake up one day and discover that someone has purchased a lot of things and hid it from them from hiding their online banking account updates. I would hate for that to happen. So please share this with all your loved ones, friends, and families to make sure that they are well protected. Hopefully this video has been beneficial to someone, and have a great day.